I'm really excited to share with you the timeline that I've put together on the development of speech recognition. Speech recognition is a very significant technology for all of us, and really especially for our children with special needs. This is a technology I use every single day of my life. I use it on absolutely all of my devices. I've used it since the mid 1990s. 1990s, that's a long time ago. And I think it's really important to see how far this technology has come. It's incredibly exciting. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the history, because this does impact us every single day on our phones and our cars and smart speakers and everywhere. So whether you know that you're using it or not, you really are. But I think a lot of our kids with special needs could be using this technology a lot more. And there are some things that are much simpler. Some things are more complex. There's many, 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 many more options. It's unbelievable, the explosion of different options and how it all works now. And it's become much more affordable and available everywhere. So we really have to know about this technology for our kids with special needs. But when you look at where it started and where we are now, it's actually really incredible. In the early 1960s, the very first version of speech recognition could only understand 16 words. And that was it. And now we have AI systems that you can have full-on conversations back and forth. And that's the incredible journey that I want to talk to you about. It's a timeline. So from the 1960s to now, that's over 60 years. But it's not like the really usable stuff started in the 1960s. But in 1961, the very first spoken words was 16 words, and then maybe numbers 0 through 9. And then 1997 is when fluent speech. So early 1990s is when the earlier commercial versions were available, but 97 is when speech became fluent. So I see these three dates as being very key dates. The 1961, which is when the very first spoken words were understood. 1997, when fluent. It was kind of fluent. It was called naturally speaking, but it really wasn't natural. But still, it was continuous speech recognition. And now, as of maybe end of 2023, but 2024, an AI conversation, which is a whole different ballgame. It's really been a wild ride, and I've used this all the way, not since 1961, but really from the mid 1990s. So I've seen exactly how far it's come. So in 1961, IBM showed off what they called the shoebox project. And it was really the first proof that a machine could listen. And I think at that time it must have been groundbreaking, but these weren't computers that everyone had access to. And then I would say I'm seeing these as chapters of big developments in speech recognition. And so the $9,000 voice typist, in 1990, you could finally talk to your computer, but oh my gosh, it was such a high price. This was really the first major leap from research to real world use. You had to talk one word at a time. It was called discrete speech recognition, which was one word at a time. And you had to speak very clearly, and you had to edit every single word. It worked, but it was very expensive. Just the software, Dragon Dictate, was $9,000. And then you still had to buy a computer to put it on, which was a couple of thousand in my recollection. So it was very, very expensive. I got to work with it with one school district that put it on a computer for multiple students. And those were the early years. Chapter 3, continuous speech recognition, was a huge leap forward, absolutely huge leap forward with naturally speaking, and then other programs as well. And so we went from the discrete speech with one word at a time to then continuous speech, where you could speak at more of a normal pace and it became more natural, more normal type of speech. It still needed a lot of training though. And in 1997, Dragon Naturally Speaking was released, but then also IBM and Kurzweil had a program as well. And they were all entering the whole continuous speech market. And so we went from those very, very expensive days to the whole thing of natural speech and then other big companies coming in was really a game changer, because all the competition dramatically lowered the price of continuous speech recognition software and went from the $9,000 range was in the Dragon Dictate days. And then when Naturally Speaking was released, the professional version, it was many hundreds, $800, $700, $800. And the professional version now is still around $700 the last time I looked. But then with Naturally Speaking, they had the professional version and the preferred version, and then they had the personal version, and those were all down into the maybe $100 or $200 range. So it became a lot more affordable. And it was, then what happened was, within the, when I talk about free and everywhere and very fast and very quick and much easier to use, in the 2000s, big tech companies really started adding speech recognition into things. So Microsoft built speech into Windows and Office. Apple added it to Macs and iPhones. Google made it a core part of Android. And so whereas big tech was integrating speech recognition, its price as a separate product fell from hundreds of dollars to really zero. If you already had the software and if you already had the hardware and if you already had the systems and you had access to it. I'm not saying it naturally just worked really well. There were a lot of considerations and a lot of training and lots of inaccuracies, but still it became much more affordable and it was improving in accuracy. Chapter 5, I'm now seeing this as the last couple of years, really maybe 18 months. This is a whole entire new ballgame, this whole new AI-powered frontier. We have moved way beyond just dictation. This is not just us talking to the computer and words appearing on the screen anymore. Today's speech recognition is part of a much bigger world of intelligent interaction and all kinds of recognition. And actually action. AI models now understand your words. I'm going to say understand in quote marks. They don't really understand. It's kind of pseudo artificial intelligence, but essentially they're building, recognizing what you're saying and then understanding your words in real time and not just writing down what you say, it's responding. So you can not only have real conversations with machines and chatbots, but you can also have all kinds of real actions that these AI systems do. And then the other thing is, I have to just say that software has come so far. And so apart from all the built-in tools, you get very specialized tools like VoiceIt, which is an incredible program for people with non-standard speech patterns. I had the amazing opportunity of working with a young student this last school year, and the school district was amazing. They purchased a subscription for the student, and we got to try it out. And I don't think it's going to work really well for him right now. I think the technology still has to grow a little bit, but I got to use it with him. And in my courses and my webinars and all, I'll be talking about him and how he's used it and what it looks like. But if you work with students with non-standard speech, you really have to go and take a look at what that looks like. And then programs like Dragon Naturally Speaking have become so expensive on the, actually now I think they only have the professional version out, which I think it's around $700 the last time I looked. But there are programs like Speech Pulse, which is a very new program, and it gets installed on Windows, and you can dictate into absolutely anywhere. It's the program I'm using now instead of Dragon Naturally Speaking, because I cannot keep affording to upgrade the professional version. And then AI platforms. This quick video I couldn't possibly go into all the different AI platforms and all the different programs and all the hundreds of ways of using speech recognition on lots of different devices, but I will definitely be covering those in my courses. Speech recognition has such incredible, significant benefits for our students and for us. I would love it if you would join my courses and my membership. We're going to be talking, we'll be collaborating, we'll be looking at how all kinds of people are using speech recognition. And I really think that our special needs, students with special learning needs and unique needs, as well as us, we all need to be using speech recognition and taking, really using its maximum benefits. So I'm hoping to see you in courses and webinars. And I think that we are going to see just massive, massive growth, much more than ever before in the next few years. Thank you so much.